to the top focus then. Almost a year ago, an 18-year-old was allegedly raped in Unnao by BJP MLA Kuldeep Singh and his men. The main accused, has still not been arrested. As the victim and her family await justice, the state government offers nothing but lip service. Mera now is in Unnao to get you the latest on ground. In fact, Apurva has been tracking all the updates for us and bringing us the reactions of the family, the relatives, the victim herself who is demanding justice, who has fought this battle for a year now and still hasn't been given the justice. In fact, just a short while ago, in the Allahabad High Court, where the court took suo motu cognizance of the matter yesterday in the morning, then pulled up the state government for not arresting the BJP MLA and gave them 3 hours time to come back with an explanation as to why he had not been arrested. Shockingly, the Yogi government has gone to court and told the High Court that they do not have evidence against the BJP MLA. An FIR has been filed against him, remember now, only last night after much outrage. Yet the man roams free. He has not been arrested. An FIR has been filed under the POCSO Act for allegedly gang raping a minor. Yet the BJP MLA hasn't been questioned, hasn't been summoned, has definitely not been arrested. And the Yogi Adityanath government of the BJP party has gone to the Allahabad High Court and told the court that they do not have any evidence against the BJP MLA. Understandable, since from day one, the effort of this police has been to cover up and to shield the minister, the MLA. So where will they find any evidence against him?
मैं कोई सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे पाऊंगी। अब हमें ताब नहीं बचा है। मेरे पापा की आग नहीं फोड़ दी जाती, किस बेदर्दी से मारा जाता और नहीं कर रहा कि ये सब मुझे कुछ नहीं बोलना है, अब नहीं ताब बचा है। आपको इंसाफ मिलेगा? अभी सीबीआई की ओर भी ये जांच आ गई है। ईमानदारी से करेगा तो मिलेगा न्याय, क्यों नहीं मिलेगा मैम? अगर ईमानदारी से नहीं होगा तो कैसे न्याय मिलेगा? हम यही पूछ रहे हैं इस सरकार से, बस हम ना पूछो कुछ।
Meanwhile, the UP police today admitted to lapses in the treatment of the victim's father that led to his death. UP police further said that there has been no decision to arrest the accused. In fact, the decision to now arrest the accused lies with the CBI, as the case has now been handed over to them. In fact, just to get you more information, like I said, the Allahabad High Court has now reserved its order on the probe for tomorrow. The High Court had asked for an explanation from the Uttar Pradesh government why they had not arrested rape accused BJP MLA Kuldeep Singh Sangar. The government said that there was enough evidence against, there wasn't enough evidence against the MLA. Meanwhile, the UP police thinks its job it's done. The UP government believes its job is done because they have now handed over the case to the CBI. So the onus is now on the CBI. We've had repeated comments being made from various top leaders of Uttar Pradesh saying, well, what else do you expect from us? We've handed the case over to the CBI. Let's go across to Apurva, who's on ground, and she's been getting us reactions from there. Apurva, to begin with, what was the response of the family and the relatives to the decision of handing the case over to the CBI now?
Well, the family and the relatives were in fact satisfied that the case has been transferred to the CBI, but at the same time, they're also maintaining how the said MLA in question, which is the BJP MLA Kuldeep Singh Sengar, must be arrested at the earliest. Whether it is from the CBI, whether it is from the UP police, they need the man to be arrested because they feel that their lives are under threat. The man has a definite political clout. He's very powerful in this area, and that is the reason they fear for their lives. They feel that if this man is out, he will definitely try and put pressure on them, intimidate them, threaten them, and even harass them to withdraw perhaps these cases and even try to put some more pressure on them. But right now, with the entire dilly-dallying that is really taking place, the family members have just said one thing, that they want this man arrested. With the CBI even taking over the probe, we are not seeing any substantial concrete measures being taken on ground, because neither the CBI has formally now taken over the case, neither has the UP police arrested this man despite an FIR being there under various sections of the POCSO Act. We are not seeing any kind of arrest that is taking place, much to the worry of the family members and the rape survivor as well, who have consistently maintained how they fear for their lives, who have just said they want justice, and it can only start with the arrest of the BJP MP.
Well, but they have clearly gone to court and said that they don't have enough evidence against this man, and now we will have to wait for CBI to again start from scratch. What about the other aspect and the action in the case of the custodial death of the rape survivor's father, Apurva?
Well, with that case also being transferred to the CBI, we spoke to the family members on both these cases. They feel that they are responsible. The BJP MLA is responsible for the death of the victim's father, and therefore the fear of them being attacked is even more till the time this particular BJP MLA is out. That is why they're consistently pressing on the demand to arrest this MLA at the earliest. And they're also asking the same question that all of us are asking: what is taking the law enforcing agencies such a long time to go ahead and arrest a rape accused who's been named in the FIR, where an FIR has been filed under various sections of the POCSO Act? How is the UP police going ahead and saying that till the time CBI comes up with the arrest, they will not be doing anything? How is it that none of the agencies are going ahead and arresting this man, and this man continues to remain scot-free? This is the question that the survivors, the family members are putting, to which nobody has any answers. Of course, the bigger concern still remains that the family members have also highlighted on how they want this man arrested, because they feel that it is life-threatening if he is outside, because he will, of course, import more pressure on his supporters to maybe go ahead and harm the family members who are currently here at this point in Unnao under a lot of police security.
All right, Apurva, thanks so much for bringing us that. We'll keep coming back to you as you bring us more ground reports from Unnao, where the incident, the crime took place a year ago, and the family is still fighting for justice. Let's go across to Meenakshi as well to get you the latest. Meenakshi, it's not surprising really if the entire system's effort was to shield the BJP MLA, was to cover up for the main accused, then obviously they're not going to have any evidence now to present to the court.
Well, you know, Tanvi, what has been so farcical has been the display that has been put on both by the UP police and also the concerned rape-accused MLA, especially since late last night. Mirror Now viewers will recall as to how this rape-accused MLA, that point in time, showed up in a purported surrender of sorts and walked in and outside a police station with the cops really referring to him as Manyavar, which is used normally in popular parlance to address someone with a great deal of respect. Now this FIR which has come about, Tanvi, has come about only late last night, and categorically today the stance of the UP government before the Allahabad High Court is also something which really makes a mockery of a lot of things. On one hand, they have FIR registered as a face-saving exercise. On the other hand, before the Allahabad High Court, they're taking this particular stance that now, since CBI is seized of the matter, really they are constrained to proceed. But that apart, what is also startling is the fact that without having conducted a proper due diligence on ground, Tanvi. The senior most law officer of the government of Uttar Pradesh has gone to the Allahabad High Court, submitted it on record as to how there is purported no direct material evidence that the UP government or the UP police has been able to amass thus far against this rape accused MLA Sengar. So clearly, there are a lot of things which are really amiss about the whole thing, and that is why today the Allahabad High Court, Tanvi, has also slammed the inaction of UP government. UP government really deeply embarrassed, or should rather be deeply embarrassed about the events that have panned out since late night yesterday to today, and now currently, after having responded to the High Court that no direct material evidence is made out against Sengar, the High Court has reserved its orders for tomorrow, Tanvi, when we are being given to understand that a clearer view and especially directions will emerge from the High Court, which will be directed specifically towards UP government.
All right, Meenakshi, thanks so much for bringing us that update. 312 days on, finally an FIR has been filed. Imagine the battle it is going to be for the victim to get any kind of justice from this government. On to our continuous coverage on the Kathua rape and murder case. Bar Council of Jammu has given a communal twist now to the brutal rape and murder of 8-year-old. Citing unhappiness over the crime branch's investigations, the Bar Council has demanded a CBI probe. But what is more shocking is that despite their actions from day before being caught on camera that we hear and we are now first brought to you, the council remains defiant and says they didn't attempt to block the procedure of the police for filing the challan or the charge sheet. Let's go across to Pradeep to get the latest on this. Pradeep, it's been 3 days, or rather 4 days now, since they've been crying foul, holding protests, sloganeering. Why don't any of these lawyers go and file a petition in the court? What do they have to say about their actions?
See, Tanvi, right from Kutch to Kathua, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, everybody is outraged. But whatever has happened in Kathua has failed to, in fact, shake the conscience of both our lawmakers as well as a political class here in Jammu and Kashmir. Everybody is busy trying to politicize and criminalize our issue. You are absolutely right when you say that why they have not filed petition, because they are more resorting to hooliganism and then protesting on the street than rather going to the courtroom and filing a petition in this regard. That clearly shows that they are not serious about the issue. All they are trying to do is they are trying to further politicize the things and criminalize the issue, dividing state on communal lines. See, this is your country and my country, and in fact, the strength of my India and your India is coexistence of different faith. Here they are trying to communally divide the state as well as the country. So how come they will be well-wishers of the state or the country? And they are using this young victim as a pawn on the chessboard of communal and regional values. That is really very shocking and shameful. That thing should not have happened. And instead, they should have filed a petition in this regard. We saw that 4 days back, while the crime branch was trying to present charge sheet in this regard, they tried to obstruct, they tried to prevent them from filing charge sheet. And later on next year, we saw them protesting on the streets of Jammu region, raising slogans.
Yes.
And then they also threatened one of the counsel of that victim. That is really undone. Things should not have happened. If they are really serious, because they are the guardians of law, they cannot block justice to young girl. This was a barbaric and a brutal incident that took place, and everybody here is outraged, and already the clamor is building up for action initiated against all those culprits, whosoever is involved in this heinous and barbaric crime.
Pradeep, you also spoke with one of the BJP ministers who had actually joined these protesters yesterday. What did he have to say? Why is he backing them?
See, it was a very insensitive comment from Chandra Prakash Ganga, who is Industries Minister. He was part of the Hindu Ekta Manch rally. I asked him a very straight and direct and pointed question. I said that you can be a part of the rally that was trying to support all those people who had been involved in this heinous crime, but you had no time to visit to the family members of the victim who was brutally murdered, raped, and then her body was dumped in a forest area. He said he was busy with the assembly. In fact, he started preaching and giving me sermons saying that started blaming media for the negativity. I said it is not the media, because here in Times Network we believe in highlighting such issues and trying to show mirror to the society rather than coming under pressure and surrendering before the high and mighty like you people. But it is you people who are negative and playing negative kind of politics, trying to divide our state on communal lines, stroking communal passion. You should have taken out time and visited her place. Now you should apologize. But he was completely unapologetic. He was defiant and brazen. And that is really very shocking. It is high time when the party high command need to look into this matter, and they should really sack these people, because if they are not for the idea of India, because the idea of India means unity
Yes.
between different caste, creed, color, and cultures. So here they are trying to divide. So that means they are not only giving a bad name to their party, but also trying to dent image of India. That is really very shocking.
Well, that conversation that you had with him, Pradeep, where you're constantly, patiently asking him those tough questions, and each of his answer only exposing his narrow mindset to the entire world. Thanks so much for bringing us this story. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mehbooba Mufti, took to Twitter to assure justice to the family. She said procedures are being followed and that investigations are on a fast track. And because of a few, justice will not be blocked or delayed. Moving on, now we'll get you a horrifying incident from Karjat in Maharashtra. 8 minor girls with speech and hearing disabilities were allegedly sexually abused by their caretaker in the school hostel. The incident came to light after 2 girls complained to their parents of pain in private parts. Parents of the girls then registered a complaint, and this is how the story has come out in the open. Now let's go across to Richa. She's been tracking this story for us. Richa, it's really shocking, and one wonders what's really going on in this country, from Kathua to Unnao and even in Karjat now.
Yes, absolutely, Tanvi, and chilling details have emerged from this government-aided school where these students were in fact born with disabilities of hearing as well as speech, and it was specially meant for them. And from, I don't know for how long, this police have not given us an official version of from how long was this caretaker doing such kind of abuse on these girls. But clearly the first time, that is on 27th of March, is when one of the girls in her sign language stated to her mother that she was experiencing pain in her private part, and immediately the mother in question got alarmed and she spoke to another mother who was just in the neighborhood to know if her daughter was going through some similar instance. And when they found out that both of them had experienced such kind of an abuse, they went up to the police. In fact, the police had to hire an interpreter to make sure that the girls who were talking in sign language could be understood better. And slowly and steadily, as the investigation proceeded, they found out that all 8 girls who were in fact stationed in that hostel, in that school, have been abused, and they have been victims of sexual assault as well. Not just that, immediately after that, the police did arrest the main accused caretaker along with the principal as well as the superintendent. Although the principal and superintendent got the bail, the caretaker is still in the judicial custody. But the police at this point is trying to find out if the 9 boys who were also stationed in that particular hostel, if they also went through certain kind of physical abuse or assault. Because let me tell you, this particular person in question, according to our sources at the police, have also told us was in fact consuming alcohol every single evening. And he had also in the past beaten up these students on various occasions. So these are the horrific story that is in fact coming out from all angles from this particular school in Karjat. And let me tell you, the parents of these students, many of them come from very low income groups, and they were not even aware about what their child was going through. And
Management Board. Let's quickly go across to Pramod to get you an insight into what all happened this morning. Pramod, almost every political party and every big group had found themselves a spot today to make their disappointment visible to the Prime Minister.
Well, that is true, and seems like this is the third strong message that has been sent by the politicians and organizations from Tamil Nadu to the centre, starting with April 5th, mass ban by DMK, and then the protest which we had against the IPL, that was on April 10th. Today, when the Prime Minister arrived around 9:20 in the morning, the protest started around 8:30 itself. Black flags, black balloons near Alandur, that is close to the airport. It was really hazardous as well, because like you cannot just like that fly black balloons next to the airport, but they did it. And not just that, people even climbed over billboards which were placed in the airport as well. So it was like completely chaotic at that situation, and the protest continued up to 1 p.m. The Prime Minister, as he reached the Cancer Institute, protest also broke over there. It was DMK leaders, it was MDMK, everyone from these political organizations. They protested against the Prime Minister, claiming that it was his failure to have not constituted Kaveri Water Management Board as per the Supreme Court's verdict. And not just that, even Kamal Hassan released a video message claiming that the commoners have started to believe that CWMB was not constituted, keeping in mind this Karnataka elections, and he urged the Prime Minister to execute the verdict as soon as possible.
All right, so that is what has happened today. Has there been any response at all from the state or the centre, as you know, voices continue to grow, Pramod?
Well, apparently the Chief Minister earlier mentioned that he was not given a kind of audience with the Prime Minister whenever, in the past 6 weeks, when he tried to meet the Prime Minister to give a memorandum or to try to urge him to create the Kaveri Water Management Board. But apparently, as the Prime Minister came over here, we visibly did not see the Chief Minister interact or present a memorandum to the Prime Minister. But the Chief Minister, Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, has tweeted claiming that he has given a memorandum to the Chief Minister, Prime Minister, asking him to constitute the Kaveri Water Management Board as soon as possible. Not just that, there was a hashtag called as hashtag Go Back Modi that became very badly trending around 1 p.m. and afterwards we saw the Chief Minister giving out this message, the tweet where he said that he has given that memorandum to the Prime Minister, and many experts, many political analysts claim that this is a late move. The Chief Minister should have done it long time back, and doing it this time does not have that maximum impact.
All right, Pramod, thanks so much for joining us. The Kaveri issue continues to boil. People out on streets protesting, various political parties putting their weight behind this, as well as everybody now seeking an answer from the centre. Why the delay in setting up the Kaveri Water Management Board? Are the votes in Karnataka more important than the plight of people in Tamil Nadu? But that is a wrap on this edition of Reporters Live. But don't go anywhere. Kavita and Mandar join you next on Nation Now.